Archangel Michael says, "The moment has come when your heart must listen, not with fear, but with the deepest stillness of faith, because heaven has been whispering to you again and again, yet your days have been filled with noise and movement, and the gentle voice of God keeps being passed over, skipped like a breeze unnoticed on a busy day. But now, as God says, there are only 30 minutes left, a sacred space of time placed before you not to frighten you, but to awaken your soul with a final, loving call, because something you never expected is drawing near, and the Lord in His great kindness does not want you to be unprepared." Type 1111 if you agree. You may not have realized how often He's tried to reach you, how many times He's touched your path with small signs, hoping you would pause, reflect, and turn your eyes toward Him, but the world kept you rushing, and so many important things buried the most important one. He saw you when you cried in silence and hoped someone would understand. He walked beside you when your strength was failing and no one noticed, and even when you skipped over His presence, He stayed near, never moving away, because His love has never depended on your attention. It only waits, always waits, with mercy that does not end. Now, in this final stretch of grace, when He says 30 minutes are left, He is not measuring hours on a clock but offering a window into eternity, a gentle warning not of punishment, but of a shift, of a turn in your story that will arrive suddenly and reshape everything, and if your heart is not ready, you might miss the chance to be held by the One who has written your name with light in His own hand. This is not the moment to panic, but the moment to come closer, to sit still even if the world is loud, to lay your burdens down and simply say, "I am listening now, Lord, I will not skip this time." What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. He has something to tell you, something that carries healing in it, something that will change how you see your past and how you walk into your future, and it cannot wait any longer, because the hour is turning, and mercy is moving swiftly with it. There is still time to hear, still time to come near, still time to feel that deep peace that the world could never give you, and though you have missed so many calls before, this one is being made with tears in heaven's eyes, because the Father longs for you, not because He needs you to be perfect, but because He created you to walk in love and be filled with light. Every breath you take now carries a whisper, and if you close your eyes and quiet your soul, you will sense the nearness of His voice, not loud or heavy, but so gentle it might be mistaken for your own thoughts, yet it brings comfort that feels like home. He is not asking you to change everything in one moment, but to let Him hold what is breaking, to let Him touch what is aching, to let Him walk with you where you have been walking alone. The unexpected thing that is coming is not meant to crush you, it is meant to bring you back, to awaken you, to remind you that your story is not over, that the next chapter must be written with Him at the center. Do not fear what you do not know, because the One who made the stars and set the seas in place also shaped your heart, and He knows how to guide it safely through storms you never saw coming. His plans are not made to scare you but to carry you, to bring you to a place where peace lives even when the world trembles, and where joy can bloom again even after long sorrow. But this moment is precious, this last stretch of waiting, this last call that sounds like love dressed in urgency, because there are things being prepared, things shifting in the unseen, and the Lord, who sees it all, is reaching with both hands to hold your heart before it begins. Type Amen if you believe. So take this time not as a warning but as an invitation, because heaven is not closing its door on you, it is opening it wide, and the light pouring out is not harsh but warm, calling you with a love that has never failed. You have skipped many moments before, but not this one, not now, not when everything is about to change. Sit quietly, listen deeply, let the Holy Spirit move gently within you, and do not rush past this time, because what He is about to tell you will not only protect you, it will transform you, restore you, and remind you that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, and never beyond the reach of God's arms. Let your heart receive this now, because when the unexpected arrives, you will be ready, not because you figured it all out, but because you finally stopped, and listened, and let God speak. And that choice, small as it may seem, will become the turning point where everything changes, not with thunder or fear, but with the quiet strength of love that never gave up on you. Archangel Michael says, "The winds of time have never stopped turning, yet there are moments when heaven presses pause just long enough for your soul to catch up with the truth it has been avoiding, and now, in this sacred hush, God is calling you again, not with thunder, not with fear, but with a soft and steady voice that has always known how to find you, even when you were lost in the crowd of your own thoughts." These words are not ordinary, because they are born from a Father who has watched you drift, has waited with kindness, and now says with gentleness, "There are 30 minutes left, don't turn away this time, because something beyond what you imagined is drawing near." You have walked through seasons where everything felt scattered, where your hopes dimmed slowly like fading light, where no one could fully understand the weight you were carrying in your chest, and yet, through it all, God was there, quiet but close, waiting for the one moment when your heart would finally slow down enough to feel Him again. There is a trembling in the Spirit now, not of fear, but of holy urgency, because what's coming is not simply a change of days, but a divine encounter, a shift that your soul has longed for, even when your mind could not name it. Sometimes, the unexpected doesn't come dressed as disaster, it comes wearing the robes of awakening, of deep shaking grace that stirs what has been sleeping inside you, calling it back to life. And this time, God is not speaking in riddles or waiting behind signs that are hard to understand. He is speaking plainly, reaching out openly, because your heart matters more to Him than you will ever comprehend. He is not rushing you because He's angry, He is urging you because He loves you too much to let you miss what's about to unfold. There is something about silence that reveals what noise hides, and in this tender silence, He wants you to come as you are, not fixed or perfect, not rehearsed or ready, just open enough to let Him come near. He knows the ways you've skipped past these nudges before, brushing them aside as coincidence or emotion, but this time is different, because this time, it is your spirit that is being called to attention, not just your ears. He has been trying to tell you something, not for a moment, but for a while now, something so vital, so full of His care, that even angels stand still when He speaks it. Type 1818 to claim miracles. You may not even know what you need right now, and that's okay, because God knows, and He isn't waiting for you to get it right. He's waiting for you to just stop running, just for a little while, so He can pour healing into the places where you've kept doors locked for far too long. What He wants to share with you is not about shame or blame, but about restoring the softness in you, about helping you see what you've forgotten, that you are deeply loved, always watched over, and never alone, not even in your loneliest nights. He is preparing your heart for a moment of change, and though you may not understand it now, you will look back and see how He held you steady when the earth beneath you shifted. This is why He's asking you to listen, not with fear, but with the quiet trust of someone who is finally tired of trying to control everything alone. When He said 30 minutes, He wasn't setting a deadline, He was giving you a gift, a moment of grace before something turns, a space of mercy before the new begins. You don't need to figure everything out right now, you don't need to be strong or confident or sure, you just need to let Him speak to you in this stillness, and let those words become the anchor you hold when the winds start to rise. Because what's coming will not take you by surprise if you are found in Him, rooted in the one truth that has never changed, that Jesus Christ walks beside you, not only in peace but also in pain, not only in joy but also in confusion, and His voice can calm storms you never even saw forming. The unexpected that approaches may not be what you asked for, but it will be what your soul truly needs, and you will find, once again, that God never moves in ways that harm, He moves in ways that save, that cleanse, that reshape you from the inside out. He is not trying to break you, He is trying to rebuild you on ground that cannot be shaken. He is not skipping past your past, He is holding it with you, redeeming what you thought could never be healed. So sit with this moment, and let it hold you. There is no need to rush. Let His presence wrap around you like a blanket of peace, like a whisper that quiets all the noise. Let your heart be still, because the voice that is speaking now is the same voice that once called light into the darkness, the same voice that has called you by name since the beginning of time. And in that voice, there is no anger, only invitation. In those words, there is no judgment, only mercy. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. The time is moving, and so is grace. Listen now, not because you're afraid of what's coming, but because you trust the one who walks ahead of you, and the one who walks ahead of you has never lost a single soul that turned toward Him, even in the final stretch of time. Archangel Michael says, "This sacred moment is not measured by the ticking of a clock, but by the weight of eternity gently pressing against your heart, because when God said there are 30 minutes left, He wasn't counting seconds, He was speaking of mercy, mercy that pauses time for you to return to Him before something you never expected unfolds before your eyes. He knows the places where your faith has become thin, where your soul has grown weary from trying to hold everything together, and still, He reaches for you with hands full of peace, not demanding that you rise perfectly, only asking that you stop skipping past him and finally let his voice rest in your heart. There are moments when heaven leans closer to earth, and this is one of them, not because of fear or doom, but because of deep, holy love that refuses to let you walk blind into what is coming. God has watched you move through days filled with distractions and burdens, watched as you've given your energy to everything else while your soul quietly hungered for something eternal, something real. He knows that life has pulled you in 100 directions, and still, his message has not changed. He is trying to tell you something important, something your spirit has needed for so long, and this time, he will not let it be missed. Type 999 if you trust Jesus. You may not know how much your heart has been aching to hear this truth, but God does. He has seen you smile while you silently carried pain, he has seen your strength while your knees trembled, and he has loved you through every skipped moment and every forgotten prayer. His love is not less because you've looked away. In fact, it has only grown more tender, more urgent, because he knows that the road ahead holds a sudden turn, and he wants you held, not harmed, prepared, not panicked. And so he comes again, not shouting, not scolding, but whispering with hope and wrapping your spirit in a peace that feels like home. Let this message not pass you by like the others, not because it is louder, but because it is softer, and sometimes the softest voices carry the deepest truth. You do not need to earn this moment, you only need to stop running from it, to pause, breathe, and receive what heaven has been saving just for you. God wants to speak to your heart about the things you've buried, about the dreams you've forgotten, about the wounds that still ache even when no one sees them. He's not trying to take anything from you, he's trying to give you something that cannot be shaken when the unexpected arrives. And what's coming, though it may startle you, will not destroy you if you are anchored in him. His warning is not a punishment, it's a preparation, a gentle awakening to remind you that you are not alone and that every step forward must begin in his presence. This is the invitation he keeps offering, not for a few holy people, but for you, right now, wherever you are, however you feel. You do not have to be ready, you just have to be willing. You do not have to understand, you only have to trust that the one who formed your soul knows how to lead it through everything ahead. There is something being arranged beyond what your eyes can see, and though the change may be sudden, it has been in God's hands all along. He has seen the full picture of your life while you've only held the broken pieces, and still, he has loved you without measure, with a kind of love that cannot be explained, only experienced. That love is what is speaking now, not as a warning to make you afraid, but as a call to bring you closer before the page turns and the next chapter begins. Because what happens next will either shake you or shape you, depending on whether or not you choose to listen right now. So much in your life has been built on doing, achieving, surviving, but this moment is about surrendering, about letting go of the noise so you can hear the truth that has been gently waiting in the silence. God has been trying to tell you that his plan for you is still alive, that his hands still hold you, that his spirit is still moving toward you, even if you've felt lost, even if you've skipped past him so many times before. You haven't missed your moment, he's brought it back to you, right now, and all you have to do is open your heart and receive it. Type 2323 if you trust in God. Do not fear the unexpected, for nothing surprises the God who made you. What seems sudden to you has been slowly unfolding in His perfect wisdom, and He will not let it harm you if you stay close. But the key is closeness, not religion, not performance, but a soft, personal return to the one who calls you by name. He is still calling. Not with judgment, but with longing. Not with anger, but with tenderness. Because this may be the last moment before the shift, and He wants your heart to be safe in His, not shaken by the world. So breathe deeply now, and let this truth settle in you like a gentle river flowing through dry ground. You are not forgotten. You are not too far gone. You are not beyond this invitation. There is time still, not much, but enough to turn, to listen, to be held. Let Him in, not tomorrow, not later, but now. Because 30 minutes in God's time is a sacred window, and He has opened it just for you. Archangel Michael says, though the minutes continue their silent passing, what truly matters is not the time itself, but what you choose to do with the stillness being offered to you right now. When God says 30 minutes are left, He isn't speaking with the voice of fear or pressure, but with the voice of deep, unwavering compassion, a kind of holy patience that waits, pleads, and loves even when the heart is distracted and the spirit is tired. He is not counting your failures, He is counting the moments your soul has cried out for Him quietly, the moments you barely noticed were prayers, the times you hoped for something more but didn't know where to turn. This is why He's been trying to tell you something so important, something that cannot wait any longer, because the steps you take from this point forward will shape more than just your days, they will shape your destiny. He's not warning you because He wants to frighten you, He's calling to you because He wants you to be covered in His mercy, grounded in His truth, and strengthened by His presence before the storm reaches your door. And this storm may not look like disaster, it may look like change, like sudden silence, like the removal of something you thought would last forever, but within it, there is purpose, and within the purpose, there is God. He knows how quickly you've skipped over the quiet moments when He whispered into your heart, how often you've promised to slow down, to pray, to listen, only to be swept back into the noise of everything else. But even then, He has not stopped trying. He has sent reminders in the beauty of the sunrise, in the peace of a breath, in the unspoken comfort of His presence when you felt alone. He has been walking with you even when you did not notice His footsteps beside yours, and now He's reaching for your attention once more, not with impatience, but with a love so deep it breaks every wall built around your heart. The message He wants to give you is not complicated. It is not wrapped in mystery. It is simple, yet powerful. He wants you to come home, not to a place, but to His heart. To come as you are, with your questions, with your pain, with your tired hopes and broken dreams, and to place it all in His hands without fear. He knows how heavy life has become. He sees how often you carry things alone that were never meant to rest on your shoulders. And He longs to lift that weight, to remind you that you were not created to walk through this life apart from Him. What's coming next may feel unfamiliar, but it is not unfamiliar to the one who holds your future. The turn ahead may feel sudden, but it is not sudden to the one who has seen your story from the very beginning. He is not surprised. He is prepared. And He wants you to be prepared too, not by fixing yourself or trying harder, but by letting go and allowing Him to take His rightful place in your life, not just as a distant God you believe in, but as the loving Father who walks with you, guides you, and holds your hand through every shadow and every sunrise. Type 555 to receive miracles. There is something sacred about the space between now and what's next, and God is filling that space with grace. It may feel like a pause to the world, but to heaven, it is a divine invitation, a final moment to receive what you have unknowingly been missing all along. His peace, His healing, His voice, His arms around you, drawing you close not to correct you, but to cover you in a love that redeems all things. This love is not bound by time, but time has been set aside for it, just for you, right now. You may feel unworthy, like you've missed too many chances, like you've failed Him too often, but God doesn't see what you see. He sees your heart still reaching. He sees your tears, even the ones you didn't let fall. He sees the moments you wanted to pray but couldn't find the words, and He's answering now, not with a lecture, but with love. He's not here to point out what you've done wrong. He's here to remind you that you are still His child, still welcome, still chosen, still held. Let this be the moment you stop running from stillness. Let this be the moment you say yes to listening, not because you fully understand, but because you trust that something greater is at work. Let this be the moment you realize that skipping God is like skipping your very breath. It leaves you disconnected, empty, and longing for something deeper. But now, in this space that remains, you have the chance to come back, not with fear, but with quiet surrender. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the Money Magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. You do not need grand words or perfect faith. You only need a willing heart. The Holy Spirit does not wait for perfection, He only waits for permission. And the moment you give Him room, even the smallest space, He will flood it with light, with comfort, with direction that will anchor you when the unexpected finally comes. Because when it does, you won't be lost, you will be found already, safely tucked beneath the wings of the one who never stopped loving you, even when you weren't listening. This is your time, not to perform, but to receive. Not to strive, but to be still. God is speaking gently, but clearly. He's asking you to stop skipping over the very thing your heart has needed most, Him. Because 30 minutes of true surrender can change the course of your eternity. And He's offering it to you now. Archangel Michael says, "The heart of God has always been speaking, even in the moments when you felt forgotten, even in the hours when the silence seemed too loud to bear." But now, as His voice becomes clearer and closer, He is reaching for you again with the kind of tenderness that does not rush or accuse, but gently leans in and says, "You still have time, though not much. It is enough if you stop and let me in." When he says 30 minutes are left, he is not holding a clock above your head, he is holding open the gate of his mercy, inviting you to come before something unfolds that will stir everything around you. You've spent much of your journey trying to hold your world together with your own strength, building walls, wearing masks, smiling through tears, and hoping that no one could see the weariness inside. But God saw it. He saw how heavy your heart became from all the things you carried in silence. He watched as you filled your time with everything but Him, not because you didn't love Him, but because life has a way of making you believe that the urgent matters are more important than the eternal ones. And still, He waited, and still, He spoke, and now, He is calling louder through a whisper that reaches beyond your ears, straight into the hidden places of your soul. There is something coming that you didn't plan for, and that is why His voice is filled with urgency cloaked in love. He is not scaring you, He is preparing you. He's been trying to tell you something that could hold you up when the ground gives way, something that will carry you when what you trusted in begins to shift. You cannot afford to skip this message again, because this time it carries more than comfort, it carries rescue. It carries strength that is not your own. It carries clarity that your eyes have longed to see. It carries a gentle awakening that will protect you when the unexpected steps into your path without warning. Type yes to affirm. You do not need to brace yourself with fear, you need to wrap yourself in His presence. For the shelter of the Almighty is not made with bricks, but with truth, with love, with a peace that rests deeper than any fear. He wants you to come close now, not because you're in danger, but because you're dearly loved. And love always protects, always warns, always prepares. He is trying to reach the part of you that is still tender, still open, still longing to be held, even though you've spent so long pretending you were fine. There is no shame in needing God. There is no weakness in surrendering your control to the one who holds the stars. What feels like losing control is actually gaining peace, because when your life is finally placed in the hands that shaped your soul, you don't have to keep pretending to be strong. You can finally be honest. You can finally be still. You can finally be free. And this freedom, this rest, this unshakable hope, that is what He's been trying to give you all along. Maybe you've heard messages like this before, maybe you've even responded once or twice, only to fall back into the same routine, the same silence, the same skipping over sacred moments. But this time is different, not because the words have changed, but because the hour has. What lies ahead will come whether you're ready or not, but the grace to be ready is being offered now, and that's why heaven is speaking once more with such tenderness and clarity. It is not too late to turn your heart back, to listen like it matters, to pause everything else and let God speak deeply into the very places you've closed off. He wants to talk to you about your healing, not just your physical wounds, but the broken memories you carry like scars inside. He wants to speak life into your relationships, your future, your faith. He wants to remind you that your story isn't finished just because something ended. That there is beauty still growing, even in places where things once fell apart. He is not here to remind you of what you've lost, He's here to reveal what you still have, His presence, His promises, His purpose for you that has not been cancelled by your mistakes or delayed by your struggles. You have been skipping His voice without knowing it, caught up in the rush, caught up in the weight of the world. But God is not offended, He is waiting. He is drawing near once again, not because He needs you, but because He loves you too much to stay silent. And what's coming next will either draw you closer to Him or cause you to feel distant, depending not on what happens, but on how you respond now. He wants you close, not for His sake, but for yours. Because what the world cannot explain, His presence can carry. What others cannot fix, His touch can restore. What feels uncertain to you is fully known to Him, and He is not caught off guard. So take these remaining moments as a sacred invitation. Let the distractions fall away. Let your heart be quiet. Let the walls come down. Let the tears flow if they must. You are not here by accident. You are not reading these words by chance. The God of heaven is speaking to you, gently but firmly, because He knows how important this moment is. Not because He wants to punish, but because He wants to protect. Not because you're lost, but because you're loved. He is trying to tell you something before the change arrives. And if you would only pause, truly pause, and listen with your whole heart, you will hear not condemnation, but comfort, not pressure, but peace. And that peace will guide you through the storm, through the shift, through whatever comes next, because when God prepares you, nothing can undo the safety He places around your soul. So stay here, be still, and let Him finish what He started. This is not the end. This is the beginning of something eternal. Archangel Michael says, there is a sacred stillness in this moment, like the final glow of evening light before night covers the sky, and in that soft silence, heaven continues to speak, not with urgency meant to stir fear, but with a voice so filled with love that even your tired soul can finally breathe again. When God says, there are 30 minutes left, He is not rushing you, He is rescuing you. He is opening a window, a final space for your heart to fully turn toward Him, to hear the truth He's been patiently waiting to share. You may not realize how many times He tried to reach you before now, how many moments were gently arranged just so you might feel Him near, yet life moved too fast, and His presence was unintentionally passed by like a soft whisper in a crowded room. But this moment is different. This is not just another quiet invitation, this is a holy announcement, filled with compassion and meant to guide you before something unfolds that will change your life in ways you never expected. And though the unknown may feel heavy, you must remember who is calling you. It is the God who never stops loving, who never walks away, who remains even when everyone else does not. He's not disappointed in you for the times you didn't listen. He's simply calling once more because He knows the road ahead and wants you wrapped in peace, not caught off guard. Type 777 if you walk by faith. You've walked through seasons that emptied you, moments that left you questioning your worth, your strength, and even your faith. There have been nights when the world felt too heavy and mornings where hope was slow to rise. God saw it all. He was there when you didn't have words to pray. He was near when you thought He was distant. Every skipped prayer, every missed moment, He noticed not with judgment, but with deep compassion, waiting for the day your heart would soften again, for the day you would stop long enough to listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brainwave and start attracting wealth right now. What he's trying to tell you now is not just a message, it's a lifeline. It is not about punishment or performance. It is about protection. It is about preparation. Because when the unexpected arrives, and it will, you need more than strength, you need presence. You need to know, deep in your being, that God is with you and for you. He's not asking you to figure everything out, He's asking you to let Him guide you, because the next part of your story cannot be lived on your own strength. This is why He keeps reaching, why He continues speaking even after so many skipped moments, because His love doesn't expire and His mercy doesn't fade. You may have wandered, but you are not lost. You may have hesitated, but you are not disqualified. The Father's heart is still open wide, and in this very moment, He is inviting you to step in, not with fear, but with faith, not with guilt, but with grace. His hands are not closed in anger, they are stretched toward you in welcome. He does not want you to miss what's coming, because what's coming is not just change, it's an awakening. There is a turning ahead, a shift in the atmosphere that will reshape what you've known, and you need the foundation of His presence more than ever before. He wants to anchor you before the waves rise, to strengthen you before the winds howl, to whisper His promises so clearly that when the noise comes, your soul will remain steady, unshaken. This is what He's been trying to tell you, again and again, not because you failed to hear, but because He loves you too much to stop speaking. He's been trying to tell you that you are still chosen, still called, still part of His plan. He's been trying to tell you that healing is still possible, that joy can still return, that your story is not finished just because something fell apart. He's been trying to tell you that He can use even the pain, even the broken pieces, to build something more beautiful than you imagined. And now, in this last stretch of grace, He's asking for your attention, not because He needs it, but because you do. Let this be the moment when you pause fully, when you stop pretending to be okay and allow His presence to meet you in your honesty. Let this be the moment when you open your hands and let go of the things you've held onto so tightly: fear, regret, control, disappointment. Let this be the moment you remember that you are not meant to carry everything, that the weight you felt was never yours to hold alone. Let this be the moment you return, not with shame, but with hope, because God is not just calling you back, He's calling you forward. And forward with Him means peace in the middle of uncertainty. It means courage in the face of the unknown. It means resting even when the road is unclear, because your trust is no longer in the outcome, it's in the One who walks with you. He is not distant. He is not waiting at the end of the storm. He is here, now, in this final window of time, offering you something eternal before the moment passes. He is speaking not to scare you, but to save you, not from the world, but from the weight of walking it without Him. Type 333 to welcome blessings. So let the world fall silent around you, just for a little while. Let your soul answer the call it was created to hear. Let your heart listen to the voice that knew you before your first breath. This may be the last quiet space before the unexpected comes, but it will not be the end. It will be the beginning of a new closeness, a new direction, a new depth with God. Don't skip this. Not this time. There is something sacred in the air, and it has your name written into it with divine love. Let God finish the sentence He started so long ago, and you will find yourself not overwhelmed, but overflowing with the peace that only He can give. Archangel Michael says, there are moments in life when everything feels still, yet something deep inside knows that change is already on its way, quietly gathering like a tide before it reaches the shore. That is the feeling resting over this moment now. When God says, 30 minutes left, it is not a countdown of fear, but a quiet, holy reminder that a shift is approaching, and what happens next depends not on how strong you feel, but on whether you will finally let Him speak what He's been trying to say for so long. This is not just another passing thought. This is a final call soaked in mercy, rich with love, and more urgent than you realize. Heaven has been trying to reach you, not with loud voices, but with soft ones, the kind you only hear when you slow down and turn your heart away from the noise of the world. God has sent these whispers in your quiet moments, in the ache of longing you couldn't explain, in the way your heart still hopes even after everything you've walked through. And now He is speaking with more clarity than before, because this time, it is not just for comfort, it is for preparation. What's ahead is not meant to break you, but if you are not grounded in Him, it may shake you. That is why He's speaking now, so gently but so firmly, calling you not just to believe, but to truly listen. You've been skipping over sacred things, not out of rebellion, but from weariness, from distraction, from simply trying to survive. God knows how hard it has been for you to keep moving while your soul was growing tired. He knows you've had to be strong when you didn't feel strong, to keep smiling when you were quietly falling apart. And He hasn't looked away, not for a moment. In every hour you thought you were alone, He was there. In every tear that no one saw, He saw it all. His love has not changed, it's only grown deeper as He watched you press on through the weight you carried. But now, He is asking you to stop just long enough to hear Him, truly hear Him, because His words carry the shelter you need before the skies turn. What He wants to tell you isn't complicated, it's simple and full of grace. He wants you to come close. He wants you to return to the safety of His presence. He wants you to know that even now, you are not too far gone, not too late, not too broken. You are still His. And the next thing that happens in your life is not a punishment, it is a divine turning, and the only way to walk through it without fear is to be wrapped in Him. Not wrapped in understanding or control or confidence, but wrapped in His Spirit, covered in His peace, held in His hands that do not let go. Type 1212 if you believe God is guiding you. There's something ahead that may surprise you, not because God hasn't been planning it, but because you weren't expecting it to come this way, in this season, through this path. But just because it's unexpected doesn't mean it's wrong. Sometimes God rearranges the path to bring you back to the center. Sometimes He shifts the ground so you'll remember who your foundation truly is. And sometimes He speaks in the final minutes to rescue you from relying on anything else but Him. That's what He's doing now, not warning to scare you, but awakening to prepare you. You don't need to explain everything to Him. You don't need to pretend. He already knows the weight you carry, the confusion in your heart, the wounds still healing inside. And still, He says, "Come." He's not asking you to perform, He's asking you to surrender. He's not interested in how strong you can pretend to be, He's inviting you to rest, to be honest, to simply let Him be the one who carries you for a while. And in that surrender, in that quiet release, there will be peace you haven't felt in a long time. Because peace does not come from things being perfect, it comes from knowing you are not alone when they are not. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. This is the message that has been trying to reach you over and over again, wrapped in moments, disguised in silence, whispered in your spirit, but this time, it is being spoken clearly. God is trying to tell you that His arms are still open. His promises still stand. His purpose for your life is still unfolding. And even if you've missed the signs before, even if you've skipped past every gentle nudge, He has not changed His mind about you. You are still part of what He's building. You are still chosen for what is ahead. But you must pause now. You must let Him in, not halfway, not distracted, but fully, with your whole heart. This is not just another message. This is the final turning point. And you may never have a moment this still again. So take a deep breath, and don't rush past what you're feeling. That ache in your chest, that pull in your heart, that soft voice you can almost hear, that is Him. That is your Father. And He is not angry. He is not distant. He is closer than breath, closer than the pain, closer than your fear. And He is saying, you don't have to face what's coming alone. Let the minutes remaining be filled with meaning. Let them be filled with surrender. Let them be the sacred pause that changes everything. Because when the unexpected arrives, and it will, you will not be afraid, because you will already be wrapped in the safety of the one who never stopped calling your name. And in that embrace, there will be strength for what you didn't expect, peace for what you cannot control, and joy that will rise again like morning light after the darkest night. You may wonder why He continues calling, even after being skipped over so many times, even after so many missed whispers and closed doors. But the truth is, His love has never been based on your attention, it has always been anchored in His promise. Amen.